Samsung's first mid-range phablet here is a pretty good alternative to even flagship handsets of last year, as it sports fine specs and the excellent S Pen stylus with its doodling and annotating apps. If you're willing to sacrifice the 1080p display on the Galaxy S4, it can be a pretty good replacement, especially if you're a fan of big screen handsets. This is Daniel from PhoneArena, and let's see if you have to sacrifice something else but screen resolution when mulling between the budget Note 3 and this here Galaxy S4.
Given the half-inch difference in screen diagonal, you can expect the compact Note 3 to look much less compact when compared to the Galaxy S4. Samsung's last year flagship is also very thin and light, so it definitely is more pocket-friendly and easier to operate with one hand than the Note. Both handsets sport removable back covers, which on the Note is with the new faux leather look, and you can quickly swap the battery or add more storage on both. The S Pen stylus makes the big difference here though, as it lets you draw and annotate on the phablet's display, which you can't really do with such precision on the screen of the Galaxy S4, though you can still doodle with your finger on it. The Note has a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display with 720 by 1280 pixels of resolution, which works out to a 267 ppi pixel density of the panel. Galaxy S4 has a much higher pixel density at the eye-popping 441 ppi, thanks to its 1080 by 1920 pixels of Full HD 5-inch display. This means that detail and small text are much more defined on the S4 than on the new Note phablet. As both screens are built with Samsung's Super AMOLED tech, you can expect oversaturated, somewhat cold colors, deep blacks, and excellent viewing angles. The handsets are loaded with Samsung's TouchWiz Nature UX on top of Android 4.3 Jelly Bean, but we hope to see KitKat on them shortly. With Nature UX, however, the most apparent visual differences that KitKat brings, like a transparent status bar and full-screen wallpaper, are present stock, so there's not much of a surface difference at first look. You can expect all the bells and whistles that come with Samsung's interface overlay, like Smart Stay, which keeps the screen on while you're looking at it, and multi-window mode that can run two different apps on a split screen. Of course, the display size of the Note is nicer for multitasking, enhanced further by stylus-specific apps like S Note, plus various drawing and annotating functions in the gallery or calendar. The gallery of the Galaxy S4 doesn't offer these functions. Of course, it doesn't have a stylus, but it does offer the air view and air gesture features. You can hover above the display with your finger instead of the more precise stylus like on the Note here, but still you can use multi-window mode for multitasking on the Samsung Galaxy S4 as well. We have a new hexa-core Exynos in the Note 3 Lite with two Cortex-A15 cores clocked at 1.7 GHz maximums and four Cortex-A9s clocked at 1.3. The new Exynos is paired with a good graphics processor too, ARM's Mali T624, and it's unlikely you have interface or app lag and hiccups with this setup. The hexa-core Exynos is clocked slower than the 1.9 GHz quad-core chipset in the Snapdragon 600 version of the S4. Also, just two cores of the new Exynos are clocked at the maximum, while the Exynos 5 Octa version of the S4 has four 1.6 GHz cores. So in both cases, Samsung's flagship for last year is likely to be faster than the new Note. As for graphics, it is likely to be weaker than both PowerVR and Adreno that are found in the Galaxy S4. Samsung has put 2 GB of RAM in both handsets, as well as 16 GB of internal memory, plus a microSD slot for storage expansion. We get an 8-megapixel camera with LED flash on the Note, while the S4 sports a much more resolute 13-megapixel shooter on the rear, which can capture more detail, of course. Samsung's interface offers an abundance of shooting modes like HDR or Panorama, arranged in an easy-to-flip-through carousel, as well as plenty of color effects you can apply to your pictures and videos. We won't comment on the sample's quality, as ours is a non-finalized version of the Note phablet. but it probably won't measure up to the excellent shooter that we have on the back of the Galaxy S4 that has proven itself times and times again. Both handsets are able to do 1080p video recordings, which are captured with very fluid 30 frames per second. Both don't support optical image stabilization.
If you're looking for something with a larger display than the one on the Galaxy S4, the budget version of the Note 3 is a fine choice, as besides the screen size advantage, it also supports the latest S Pen stylus and its accompanying apps as additional input options. The Galaxy S4 is naturally way more compact, with a faster processor and with much better screen resolution, but it might come a tad more expensive than the mid-range Note 3 here when it lands in stores. This was Daniel from PhoneArena with a quick first look between a prototype Samsung Galaxy Note 3 Lite or Neo and the Galaxy S4. For more information about these and other handsets, you can visit us at phonearena.com. Thanks for watching.